All right, so thank you all very much. This is our October 2021 edition of Beyond the Dance Floor, our monthly webinar series. We are pleased today to have Elizabeth Saunders. She's joining us from Georgia. She is a member of the USDA Executive Committee, and she is our insurance guru. She is the one that keeps us all in line and hopefully is able to share with all of you the ins and outs. And I know we've had a lot of extra challenges this past year, couple of years with COVID. How do we deal with those? How is your insurance affected and all of that? So we are very pleased to have Elizabeth Saunders join us this morning to share information about the USDA insurance program. Elizabeth?
Well, good morning to some of you and good afternoon to most of you. I am glad to be here to help y'all, and hopefully when my presentation will answer most of your questions. I pretty much base what I'm talking about on what Bonnie had put on the flyer about what it was going to be. So I took her blurb on the flyer and broke it down into 5 sections. So I guess we'll just get started. One thing I will, I guess, do some housekeeping is my contact information is on the website, the USDA website. The phone number that is there is my landline. So it doesn't accept text messages, but I have an answer machine, and if it shows up as a cell phone, I probably won't answer it because I figure it's somebody trying to sell me some car warranty. So just leave me a message and I will definitely call you back. If I don't call you right back, that means that I wasn't at home, but I do call everyone back. Okay, so we'll start off with who qualifies. Well, actually any club in the US can qualify, but there are stipulations. The insurance program is initially opened to any affiliate, which is any organization, state organization that is a member of USDA, which means that the organization pays a set fee, membership dues, and depending on what tier you're in, determines what your dues are. That's not, has nothing to do with the insurance. So if your organization has not paid dues to USDA, then you don't qualify for the insurance. All right, so now there are also clubs that there is not a state organization that's a member of the USDA, and those clubs can get insurance with us, but their rate is higher. The discounting rate is given to anybody that's a member of the USDA program. And so how does it work? Well, basically, I was just saying, if you're a member of the USDA, then you're an affiliate, and the affiliate organization pays the membership dues, and then all those clubs within that affiliation are eligible for the reduced rate for the insurance. I will get into more detail later. And she also in that blurb, it was like, what is covered? Well, basically the insurance coverage is a $10,000 accident medical benefit, which for the majority of the people, they have some type of insurance. What this benefit will do is pay any co-pays or co-insurance that comes out of your pocket. So it will up to $10,000 will take care of your out-of-pocket expenses. There's also $1 million liability coverage for the club. And of course, there's more details about this coverage is on the USDA.org. That's ORG, not GOV, website under the link for dancers insurance. Now, I know all of you are very interested in knowing the rates for 2022. We just Thursday got notification from the insurance company what the rates was going to be. However, the board has to approve it. So I spoke with the president this morning, and the board will be voting on it. And I will be getting an email out to everybody sometime between now and midnight on Sunday with all the information. I will have deadlines in this email. I will have what the new rate is going to be. That's all I can explain to you right now, because I really want everybody to get the notification of what the rate is at the same time. And if I give it to y'all now, then it's going to be so many others that were not able to come in on this program that's not going to know. But I will get it to you, and I will give you what and because it's been so late us getting the rate, the deadlines for getting everything into me will be adjusted. It will not be like it won't be the same as it has been in the past, but I will adjust the date. So just between now and Monday morning, you should have an email about this. One of the things that was in Bonnie's blurb was how regional, local, and state insurance directors get dancers enrolled in the program. All right, enrolling a dancer in the program is easy. First, the club has to have a USDA number, and these were all assigned several years ago. New clubs will complete an application to get a USDA number. After the number has been assigned, a club rep can go into the insurance portal and enter the roster in dance facilities. When you go into this portal that we have been using since 2019, which we're just about, I think after 2 years, where I am ready to say no more paper copies sent to me. Don't send me those 15 copies of each form in October to enroll your club. You can go on the insurance portal, and every form that you need for insurance is on there, with the exception one form, and that's when you have a class. The class roster form is not on the portal. You can still find that form on the website, or you can send me an email listing every one of your students with a beginning date and an ending date. But that's the only form that's not on the insurance portal. All the other forms that you need are on the insurance portal. Each club, once they enter the information on the portal is going to send you a roster. Whatever email you put on that first page where you have to identify yourself, that is the email that roster goes to. You will verify the roster and send a check and a copy of that roster to your insurance coordinator for your area. For most states only have one insurance coordinator. Georgia has 3 affiliates, so we have 3 different insurance coordinators. And so depending on which one of these groups you fall in, you would send that to that insurance coordinator. Those insurance coordinators combine all their clubs together and send me one check. And then I will, after receiving the check, I will forward all the certificates to the insurance coordinator. So how do the certificates get created? So whenever you go into the portal and enter all that information in there, there are a set of documents that is created. Those documents all are sent to me, including the roster and everything. I get an email the same time the person who entered the information in the portal gets a copy of the roster. So I have all that information waiting on the money. And as soon as I get the money, then, and I verify that the correct money has been sent, I will forward those certificates to the insurance coordinators. It will be the insurance coordinator's responsibility to forward those certificates to the different clubs. Each insurance coordinator needs to determine if they're going to be the only one entering the information in the portal, or if they're going to have all of their different clubs enter the information in there. That's up to those individual groups. I just want to stress that I want the money to come from the coordinators, not each individual club. It's one reason I don't want multiple checks from all these different organizations is in November 1, my bank that we use will be charging more for deposits. And whereas my service fee is going to go up, whereas I could have 200 transactions. So that meant I could have a deposit that would have not one deposit, but each check listed on that deposit was one transaction. So one deposit would have 28 transactions on it. So now, whereas I could have had 200 a month, now I could only have 100. So I'm really stressing that the fewer checks you can send me, coordinators, the easier it's going to be and the less money it's going to cost me with my bank. Or the only other alternative would be just to hold checks until I can not overdo the 100 deposits. So, I'm sure you don't want me holding your checks. That's not good. COVID. The COVID restrictions, what the insurance company had told me in the beginning was that whatever the state that you're in stipulates, then that's what they're going by. So if your state is limited to the number of people that you can have in a group, then the insurance company is only going to honor what that state says. The insurance, COVID is a virus. The insurance company has never insured viruses in the past, and they're not going to start now. So this COVID-19 is a virus and it falls under that category. It is not an accident. The medical benefit is an accident benefit, but they're just not, if somebody, wants to file a claim that they got COVID at a dance, then the insurance company is not going to honor it because it's a virus. And there are, in the state of Georgia, we are allowed, because of the legislature came up with I don't know, I guess you call it a law, but every place that you go in this state, there's a sign posted that you're entering at your own risk. And I'm sure there is something you could come up with at your club level that you could put on your announce before the dance, where it's obvious to these people that they're not responsible if you become sick with a virus at their dance. The insurance portal, there will be, as soon as the rate is approved by the board, the insurance company will be making some changes, updates to the portal, and there will be a link that says 2022. Right now, when you log on to the portal, it says start. I think that's what it says right now. I can't remember. But once they add the 2022 link to the portal, there will be two boxes. One will say 2021 and one box will say 2022. So if you are adding members between now and December 31st, you will have to use a 2021, because even though you're adding members in December, they still have to pay the full cost for the full year. And those names go on the 2021 portal. Then when you get ready to do your insurance for the 2022, you will click on the 22 link. It will have everything that was in the 21 link will be transferred to it. Then all you need to do is just go through and verify that you haven't lost any members. See, this is where you do the deletions. You cannot, once you submit money for your club and pay your fee for the club, you cannot go back in and delete a name because they decide to join another club. You cannot delete their names. Their names has to stay on that roster. That person, when they leave one club and goes and joins another club, they can join that club and they don't have to pay again. Their insurance is still paid. They're considered as a paid member of that new club. because they were paid for at another club. And you cannot go in and delete facilities. The only time you can make these deletions is the first time you enter the information for your club for 2022. So when you open up the portal for 2022, you go through the roster. You can add names, you can delete names. Then you go to your facilities. And if there's anything listed there that you know that you will not use any during 22, then go ahead and delete it. And if anything that you're going to be using, even if you're only going to use it for one dance, add it to that list. All the certificates are good from January 1 to December 31. So even if you're only going to dance somewhere one time, you still need to put them in there in that system. And you'll get that certificate and you'll just have the certificate. So if you plan a dance for February in this facility and you think you're never going to use it again, well, you still get the certificate. Well, then something comes up in November. Oh, well, we can go back and use this facility because we still have an insurance certificate, and you don't have to get a new one. Let's see. Also,
excuse me, Elizabeth, does anybody want to see the insurance portal, or are you all familiar with it? Okay, Carolyn from California has offered to put up that portal screen. Because you were just talking about that, Elizabeth, maybe if anybody has questions about the portal screen, they could ask them now.
Sure, Carolyn, go ahead. Yeah, okay, see, there it is. It says start renewal. Now, when the 2022 is added to it, there will be two of those teal boxes. One will say 2021 and one will say 2022. But that's what it is. Now, in the email that I will send out this weekend, I will send out instructions and a link to the portal for everybody. I know there's a couple of people who have not been using the portal who contact me by email, but unless I have not had any contact by email from you, I will send paper information to you, but there's only like 2 affiliates that the people doing those do not do the computer, but everybody else does the computer. And I am wanting you to go into this portal and do these forms in the portal instead of making copies of all those forms. I mean, it's going to save you postage by using the portal. It's just, it'll save your organization postage money because in the past you would send in like 3 copies of every form. And if each form was multiple pages, you might have 15 pages that you're shipping. And with using the portal, you'll have 1 page and 1 check. And that's it. The coordinators, when they send the checks to me, there is a summary sheet and they can come up with their own summary sheet. It's not necessary that you have to use the one that's on the website, but you can create your own portal summary sheet and send in. And all I need on there is just a list of all the clubs you're paying for, the members, the numbers, and the money. And it's 1 sheet of paper. All comes down to 1 stamp, which postage has already gone up again. So it's just a saving thing. Let me ask something right now. There was a question that popped up. Someone was saying something about how can a new club join now? The new club needs to send me an email. I will send them an application and they'll complete that application. That's what it takes to get a new club in there. Insurance coordinator can send me the information and request it, or they can send it directly to me and I'll send the information, the application to you. If you don't have if your club is not on the insurance program, if you're part of a state with that's one of the states is a member of the USDA, then have your insurance coordinator send me a request. Otherwise, you can join at a higher rate, and you just send me that, and I will send you I will email an application to you. And yes, Bonnie.
If we could go back to the portal for a moment, Someone is asking where on the portal is the form for event, travel notification and accident notification?
Oh, well, good. I'm glad you asked that question because now I realize there's two forms that's not on the portal, the class roster and the one for an event. Now, if the event is going to be somewhere that requires an insurance certificate, you go onto the portal and add that facility on there on the portal and you get a certificate. If it's just a notification that you're doing a demo at a facility and you don't need an insurance certificate, that event form is on the USDA.org website, and you would complete that and just email it to me. I don't need to, you don't need to snail mail it, you can email it. Okay. Going through my notes, make sure I've.
All right, well, I can throw in a couple of questions while you're looking at
Yes.
your notes if you'd like.
Let's go through some questions.
All right. The first question came from Petey in Wisconsin. Do we really need the insurance? And she followed up with, for clubs without insurance, can the caller and board members be sued?
Yes. Without insurance, I mean, the liability insurance is what's that. Now, their question was caller and the club members. Callers and cuers have their own insurance for when they're working through Caller Lab and Round the Lab. And a caller's insurance does not cover a club's insurance, does not cover the club nor the dancers. There's a lot of callers out there that have given the erroneous information to a club by telling them that, well, I've got insurance. You don't have to get insurance. The Caller Lab insurance only covers the caller while he's working, and it covers his equipment. It does not cover anybody else dancing at that club or anybody else in that club. So if you're a club with a caller telling you that you don't need insurance, then I suggest you don't have to take my word for it, but you can contact Caller Lab and get the same ruling. You can get the same message that I'm just saying. The club is not insured. The caller is, but the club is not.
Elizabeth, I know that probably most of the insurance directors know this, but I know we get a lot of questions from the club. Why, which really gets down to why do we need the insurance? I have my own medical insurance. I don't need to join a club and sign up for the dancer's insurance. Can you just kind of review some good information that people can use when the dancers bring up those comments?
Okay, so I'm with you on that. I have insurance, and if I had an accident, I probably wouldn't be filing a claim with the club, for the insurance. However, to get the liability insurance, you have to take both the medical and the liability portion. Our premiums cover a percentage for the medical and a percentage for the liability. In fact, the liability portion is what the insurance rate covered this time, because the words that they used were that there is an increasingly active legal climate in the country, which is why the insurance company raised the liability portion of the insurance. So if you're selling the insurance to your club, the club needs to understand that not, just because everybody has insurance, you might not think you need it, but there is a liability, and the liability will cover, and when I'll put that sheet of paper away. Well, okay, so your facility, the liability insurance covers the facility. And it's in the, I wish I could find that sheet of paper. There it is. Okay, sorry about this. Okay, so the liability covers the club and its members while participating in club or organization sponsored and supervised dance and activities. Liability coverage applies in the U.S. in its territories or possessions. That would be like Puerto Rico. Well, I know I told it somewhere, I saw where, but it covers any damage done. I mean, so something happens and there's damage done to the facility by one of your members, this liability insurance will cover that damage. If there's a lawsuit against the club, if there's lawsuits against the caller, then he would probably need to use his insurance. But if the lawsuit is against the club, then the liability insurance would kick in. And so how does that work? Well, if somebody has an accident and they don't want to file a claim, but they want to sue, which this happened. A person had an accident. They didn't file a medical claim, but they sued the club. The club sent all that information to me. I gathered up everything that I had. I sent it on to the insurance company. I got a notification from the insurance company. All items were received and we no longer needed to contact this person, that their attorney was taking care of everything. So everything was taken away. The club didn't have to do anything with this. The attorneys handled everything. So if you don't have the insurance and this happens, then all the board, the club members are going to be liable for their lawsuit. The club members are going to have to come out of their pocket, where however much money it's going to cost, because the club members are going to pay for the attorney. And if they lose the suit, then they're going to have to pay for the suit. So the main thing that you want the insurance for is basically the liability, not necessarily the insurance. I mean, the medical benefit, because I do hear that a lot. Well, I don't need this medical benefit. I've got my own insurance, but the club needs the liability insurance. So for the club to be able to, another thing the club has to do is 100% of their membership has to be on the insurance roster. So either a club pays 100% of all the members, or they collect money from all their members. But either way, you got to have 100% of membership to qualify. That was, another way of qualifying. And I see something about callers. Callers have their own insurance, but the caller and the tall and the cue or the tall, if they dance at your dances, if they go attend any dance anywhere else, they're just a participant as a dancer. Their caller allowed insurance or round allowed insurance does not cover them. A lot of clubs will, as a courtesy, add and pay the insurance fee for the caller and the tall so that they can go to other clubs and dance. And if they have an accident, they'll get the medical benefits. But that's just a courtesy, and you do not have to add your callers to your roster to come up with that 100%. But if you do want to put their names on the roster, then you need to pay for them. Any name on the roster, even if it's an honorary member, needs to be paid for. So if you got a name on that roster, you need to pay for that person to qualify for the 100%. I hope I didn't confuse everybody.
We had another question come in. What about a caller run club? Is that completely covered under that caller lab insurance, or?
No.
I think that's a clarification, because again, a lot of people get that confusion that if it's a caller run club, the caller's insurance covers everything. And I think we need to clarify that for everyone.
To clarify that, a caller's insurance only covers him while he's working. It covers his equipment, and from what I understand, it covers his transportation to and from that dance. It's it's his works insurance. It does not cover anybody else. And if you're questioning, if you really think that your caller is telling you the truth and I'm not, please contact Caller Lab and they will definitely get you, give you the information in writing that what their Caller Lab insurance covers and what it doesn't cover. But, I have gotten this information. I didn't get it in writing, but I did hear it from a Caller Lab person.
Okay. Petey, I want to make sure that all of your questions got answered. One tag on was, are clubs that are incorporated like Fox Valley Squares in Neenah, Wisconsin covered? And that may be a question that Jim Masco has to help with. If the club is incorporated like Fox Valley Squares in Wisconsin, are they covered under the insurance or do they still need the insurance?
If they're incorporated, that does not make them automatically insured with covered by insurance.
Well, the incorporation should protect the members from suit. The club could still be sued and all of its assets could be claimed if they lost a lawsuit. But the incorporation should protect the individual members and the officers from being sued. That's what the incorporation accomplishes, is protecting the members and the officers from being sued in a situation like that.
Okay, so Petey, did all of your questions get answered?
She's nodding yes.
Okay, thank you. We had another question. Will a club certificate be held up if dancers in two clubs haven't paid in either one of those clubs? And that situation is under review and there's a question mark. So, for example, I think the way that question is that I belong to two different clubs, but I haven't paid my insurance or my membership in either of those clubs. Are you going to hold up that club's insurance certificate because 100% of the members are not showing up on that roster?
I'm assuming that when someone turns in a roster that they're not using two separate rosters, one for members that they don't want insurance and ones that do want insurance. I would hope that that's not what they're doing, but if someone's name is on a roster as a dues paying member, then I'm assuming that they're sending that in. If you're not a dues paying member, how are you a member? You would be, my thoughts are, if you claim to be a member of a club, but you're not paying dues, you're basically an independent dancer who is not covered by insurance, but you're not penalizing because you're an independent. That club is not penalized because they allow you to come to all their dances. But if someone says they're a member of a club, I'm assuming they're paying dues.
We have a number of members who are not dues paying, but they have been awarded a lifetime membership, but we include them on the roster, even though they don't pay dues, because they come and dance.
Okay, somebody put in a clarification. I believe the main inquiry was more from an individual dancer perspective. Many dancers do not want to sign up for the dancer insurance. Does the club or association force them to pay the insurance? And I think that's probably a club by club decision of how they handle that.
That would be a club by club decision. I've been members of more than one club at the same time. And then there was one club that when I joined it was a young club. The club collected insurance from every member because they were new and they didn't have funds. So they collected the insurance from everybody. So everybody they collected insurance from was considered a member because they not only did they pay the insurance, but they paid the dues, club dues. And that was way back when it was like $3 for insurance, for the whole year. But each club does it different. In my area, we have some clubs who just go through the roster and whatever name's on there, they'll send that money in. for everyone, everybody's name is on there. Then there's some clubs that will collect money, and if they collect the money, they consider that person a member of the club, and then they send it in. It's a club decision as to whether who pays, either the dancer or the club. I mean, that is up to the clubs. It's not something that USDA says you have to do.
And I think the real key here is I get very frustrated when I hear somebody, when they're talking about the insurance, they say, well, it's the medical insurance. They're not focusing on the fact that the real purpose of this insurance is that it's your liability for your facilities. If you don't have liability insurance that covers those facilities, many places aren't going to rent you their facility to dance in. And so I think we really, as statewide leaders and as insurance directors in your area, you really need to turn that conversation around to focus on the liability insurance for the club, not the individual medical insurance aspect, because that's where we get that kickback that, well, I have my own medical insurance, I don't need to pay the insurance for USDA. And we really need to turn that conversation around to saying it's protecting your leaders and it's protecting your facility.
Bonnie, I'm so sorry, Bonnie. The question was from us in Northern California, because in our association, clubs are required to join as a member and the association pays the insurance, right? So the question about two dancers had to do with a form we use, might not be universal, listing dancers in a club who are members of a different club. And the question then becomes, who has paid the insurance? Which club? And the dancer says the other one, and the club says no, the other one. That's why I wondered about the certificate. Does that affect club certificates?
No, that doesn't affect the certificates.
Okay, thank you. That was
yeah.
my question.
So to clarify a little bit more, members that are members of more than one club, and if you ask that member, like, are you a member of another club? And they say, yes, I am. Well, who's paying the insurance? Well, if they say so-and-so is paying it, well, if you're not sure, contact so-and-so, say, well, is this person paying you insurance, or do they need to pay me? And you just kind of like eliminate some of that.
Right now, that's up in the air for a few.
Right. Yeah. I know where you're coming from, because in my area, there's like, oh, wait a minute, you didn't pay, but they're saying you didn't pay, but you're saying you did. So somebody's got to come up with some money. Yes.
All right, Elizabeth, do you have any other comments, or does anybody have any other questions specifically?
Well, let's go over some more specific questions. Maybe that will trigger something that I need to go over.
I've gone through most of the questions that are on the chat. That's why I was opening it up to others. Because I don't see any new questions. Come on. So if anybody has a question, now I will tell you that, okay, how do we know what the cost, oh, somebody is asking, how do we know what the cost will be? Elizabeth has already stated that letters should be going out on Monday, I think you said, that will have.
I'll have it, my goal is to get it out before midnight Sunday, so.
And is a guest covered while they're dancing?
Say that again, Bonnie.
Is a guest at your club covered while they're dancing with your club?
If that guest is a member of another club that they've paid insurance, yes. Otherwise, no. But that does not penalize your club if a guest is not a member of a club with insurance or an independent dancer. It does not penalize your club. They're just out of luck if they have an accident.
Okay. Any other question?
I want to make a comment. It is true that if you're incorporated, the people that want to sue can't supposedly sue the members. Maybe for some reason they might be able to sue some board members, but they can't sue the members. Well, that isn't really true because anybody can truly sue anybody. So that's a reason to have the insurance so that somebody will take care of that suit. You don't have to deal with it if you have insurance, but theoretically, they can't get by with suing the members. They don't have access to the membership list if you have insurance. I'm sorry, if you have the incorporation.
All right, a question came in. My club does not have insurance. Do I need to, do you need my info? What I would
Yes.
recommend is if you are interested in the USDA insurance, we posted Elizabeth's email address on the chat. It is insurance@usda.org. So I would email her your information so that she can get back to you regarding your questions and how you can have your club join or your association. Now, another thing I will say, and Elizabeth, I will tell you that Carolyn from California has offered, she's the one that posted the website for you, the portal. She has offered if any of you want to stay on afterwards, and she would walk you through using the portal if you have any questions like that. So, Elizabeth, if you don't mind her doing that.
Not at all. Carolyn is great. She is, I'm really missing her already. So I have no problems with that. Carolyn is welcome to, she'll do a really good job.
And Carolyn also added a note to all of you, be sure to not only enroll your clubs, but enroll your association as well, so that your association officers are covered. And the facilities where your association holds general dances or their meetings and stuff, that those facilities are covered, so you have that insurance. Anybody have any other questions for Elizabeth?
Bonnie, let me answer Carol Ann. Okay, so Carol Ann is installed in Rush, New York. She's asking about one total check instead of individual checks from each club. Yes, Carol Ann, I prefer to get one rather than multiple. So I know what has been going on is the coordinators have been sending me one check per club. With this upcoming increase in service fee that the banks are leveling on us, if rather than send me one check per club, if you can combine clubs, I mean, you don't have to wait till you can combine all of your clubs, but if you can combine 2, 3, or 4, or just however many clubs, and just send me one check for like 2 clubs or 3 clubs, I would really appreciate that, because to avoid the excess service fee that they're leveling on us, I will be holding checks so that I can keep checks under the 100. So that means I can only deposit 100 checks per month in the future. So, and I do know that in December, I will be getting multiple checks, and first 100 I get will be the first 100 that's deposited. The rest will not be deposited until January. So that is what it is. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't send but just one check, but I prefer to have fewer checks from the associations. I hope I answered you, Carol Ann.
And I think I know, like in California, each club has an insurance person, and then we have a association level insurance person who feeds that information to Carolyn. So, if you're working that way, be sure you get it so that, for example, Carolyn in California and her replacement can send that one check to Elizabeth as opposed to multiples. Also, someone made the point of making sure that as it is on an association level, if you're holding a roundup or a festival or something, be sure you get those events covered by your insurance. Don't just assume that because your club is hosting something or your association that it's automatically covered. You do need to get those specific insurance certificates requested. And the next question is, will the certificates be delayed if you have to hold checks for the next month's deposit?
No. No, once I receive your check, you're covered, and I will get the certificates to you, even though I may not deposit your check right away. But no, I will not hold up their certificates just because I can't make a deposit.
Okay. We have any other questions from anybody? All right, Elizabeth, can you think of anything else you want to cover?
I am going through my notes right now to see
All right, very good.
if there might be something that I overlooked. One thing, accidents. There are on the website, the USDA.org, there is a form to complete for an accident. There's also a sheet that tells you the procedures of what you need to do. I would suggest that you have at least 2 blank sets at every dance or every function, just in case you need them in there, because actually I have been at a dance when there was an accident and like they're running around like, oops, we got to get a blank piece of paper and write all this information down. It's just handy. Maybe your treasurer needs to keep it, but I would suggest that you have a couple blank ones always on hand at every dance.
Okay, Carolyn, again, from our California insurance director, she has a handbook. It's called the California Insurance Handbook that she would be happy to share with any of you from other parts of the country. If you would like a copy of it, it is also available on our California Council's website, which is www.squaredance.org. So she is happy to share that with you. The other thing Carolyn is suggesting is take a picture of the accident form and keep it on your phone. So, we all have our cell phones that can take pictures. So she's recommending that. And that way you'll know which information you need to write down on that piece of paper that you've tracked down at the dance.
Good idea, Carolyn.
Carolyn,
Excellent.
yeah.
She's a brain.
She is, and a wealth of information. So
Yes,
she's
she
happy to
is.
share that. All right. Any other questions for Elizabeth? Okay. Oh, nope. Nothing new there. All right. So I'm going to do a shameless plug for USDA. Our newsletter, and you can't see it because of the reflection, but USDA news just came out. It is a wonderful publication that United Square Dancers of America publishes every quarter. Our editor, Larry Dunkel, does a wonderful idea. There's dance flyers, there's information all throughout this. There's always an update from Elizabeth. Oh, thank you. On the insurance. Go out to the USDA website. It's www.usda.org. You can download copies of the newsletter or the magazine. You can also get copies of the insurance pamphlet. You can get contact with all of the executive committee members, find out how to reach us, what our different roles are. There are tons of publications that USDA provides, and they are all available out on the website, along with the future schedule for our webinar series and handouts and information on our past webinars. And speaking of our next webinar, for those of you that are looking for 501c3 group insurance exemptions, USDA started a new program a year ago, Jim, year and a half.
Yes, roughly, yeah.
Jim Masco, Patty Wilcox, and Pat Inglis are overseeing that program. And they are going to do a presentation on Saturday, November 13th. That's our next webinar. And they're going to talk
And if I
about
might,
that.
if I might point out here that Nancy Shelton and Dave Shelton are president of the Peninsula Square Dance Association by virtue of the Oaktown Eights being members of Peninsula. Their group recently became associate members of USDA and obtained the 501c3 group exemption. So it pays to belong. So that's what it's all about. And I do want to say hello to Marilyn Kittle. She and her late husband, Cy, were presidents of the USDA, 15 years ago. And we're glad to see Marilyn's participating with us today. Hello, Marilyn.
All right. I think that I don't see any more. Oh, wait, here. Carolyn is offering us more information. It's also highly recommended that people have an ICE, emergency contact, on the back of their name badge, especially solo dancers. So if somebody does get hurt, there have been situations where the person who got hurt wasn't able to communicate. And so having a contact person or phone number on the back of your badge gives the people that are at the dance someone to contact if something were to happen to you. I know I'm single. I live alone. So it would be whoever my emergency contact is if I were to become incapacitated at a dance. So that is another excellent idea that you might think about sharing with the dancers in your area. I had heard in the past at one point that there was a dancer who got hurt and nobody knew how to contact anyone to let them know that the person was sent to the hospital. So again, more good ideas to share. Anything else anybody wants to add?
I got one more thing, Bonnie.
Yes, ma'am.
I did notice where there was a notice in the chat from Shirley Maddox. She is taking over as the insurance coordinator, and she gave me her contact info. If anybody else is out there and you've got, you know that you're going to have a new contact person, insurance coordinator, go ahead and drop me an email at the insurance.usda.org, whatever, insurance@usda.org. Yes, just let me know so that I can get the information out to the new coordinators. Because I know there's some another state that's has a new coordinator this year. And if anybody else out there, even if you're not the one that's going to be that person, but if you know that somebody else is, please just send me an email. And I think that's it, Bonnie.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is there a deadline for a new club who wants to join? Our annual meeting for my club isn't until January to bring this attention to the members.
No, a club can join anytime. So just send me that. I think y'all would ask about that just earlier. Just send me an email and I'll send the application to you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Carolyn,
Yes.
if you can, this is Jim Taylor, if you can send me a list of your coordinators by and deal as I receive all of the affiliate forms, I can match them and see if they're new. I get the insurance coordinator and all the officers for every affiliate as they pay their dues.
Mhm. Oh, so you need my replacement.
I didn't, who is that?
That's Carolyn.
Yeah, you said Carolyn. Did you want it for me or Carolyn?
No, Elizabeth.
Okay.
I'm saying
Okay.
if you send me all, did I say Carolyn? I'm sorry. Elizabeth, if you would send me all of the,
Sure,
all of that you have,
I
then
will.
rather than my sending you all of the forms, I could just match it up to your form and your one form as I get them.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll make that change, add in Shirley Maddox to the person that she's replacing, and then I'll get that to you this weekend.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Yeah, yes, Ralph or Linda. Sorry, Ralph was the first name. Sorry.
I just want to thank you and Elizabeth for the time you put into this. Elizabeth, especially for insurance. I mean, she's amazing. She's always Johnny on the spot with answers. And I completely thank all of you who participate in the USDA at the level that you participate.
Oh, Linda, do you see my
Thank
head
you.
swelling? Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you deserve it. So do you,
Thank
Bonnie.
you.
So do you,
Thank
Jim and Judy. And anybody else there that I don't know, Jim, Maxco, and all of you people are wonderful. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much. And does anybody else have any questions or comments? For Elizabeth and Bina, and who else do we need? The vice presidents. Jim Masco was suggesting I set up a Zoom maybe later today so Elizabeth can get those rates approved.
I was going to send an email as soon as this was over, but I can do another Zoom meeting anytime. That would be fine.
What works? Will the email suffice, or you need the Zoom? It's up to you guys.
Jim, what do we need? Elizabeth and I had talked earlier and we decided we would do the email, but if we need to do a Zoom meeting, Jim.
It sounds like you probably have it under control. So if it's going to happen today, that's going to make everybody very, very happy.
Okay,
Yes, I will do it shortly after this is over.
great. Then
And
we
that
won't
goes
worry about-
just to the vice presidents and us and
And
Elizabeth.
yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay,
Well,
Cool.
you could include me if you wanted to.
I will.
All right. Anybody else have any questions? Otherwise, we will let you go if you want, or if you want to stay on, I will keep the meeting open so that Carolyn can walk through the insurance portal for you.
Elizabeth, I
Somebody-
just have one quick question. I heard question asked earlier about guests. Can we get insurance just for guests?
No, no,
Okay.
unless the guest has to be a member of a club.
Okay,
Petey, what type of a facility do you dance in?
we dance at a church.
And they don't require any type of liability, proof of liability insurance from the group renting? the
No, I
facility?
talked to the church church
Okay.
secretary this week,
Okay,
and we are not covered or umbrellaed under their insurance at all. We have to have our own.
okay.
All right. So once again, I thank you all. Carolyn, you can start sharing whenever you like, and I will just turn the meeting over to you, and you and Elizabeth can keep talking. I'm still going to be here, but I'll let you do your thing.
Thank you, Elizabeth and Bonnie.
Thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate the participation we've had. Thank you so much. Join us next month when we talk about our 501c3 insurance program. Any of you who are not already on our email listing to get direct notification, send your email address and your name to social@usda.org, and we'll get you added to the direct email list about future webinars. All right, Carolyn, go ahead.
I don't want to step out of turn. I'm just available if anybody needs a walkthrough of the portal, or if Elizabeth wants to walk through it and I'll just click along. But what would you like, Elizabeth?
Yeah, you'll have to do the clicking.
Yeah, sure. Okay, do you want to do the walkthrough and I'll just click along and follow you, or?
Yes, you do the click and I'll do the talking.
Okay. Okay, so everyone should be seeing the portal then right now.
Right, we can see the portal.
Okay.
And there's a start renewal button.
Usually doesn't take this long. There we go. Okay, so this is your own personal information. This isn't the club. This is whoever's going to get the email, the roster back.
That's correct. Make sure the email is correct and the phone number is correct. I have trouble getting that telephone number to come up correctly because I'll click on it and then it won't open it up, and I'll start typing it in my numbers. It's not right. So, and verify the email address, because I have had one time where I needed to converse, with someone about a roster, and the email I sent it to, which was what was on the roster, was incorrect. And I had to go back through some old files and find another time when that person had done something. But yes, so you had to make sure that the email address and the phone number are correct. And don't forget to check that you're not a robot.
And then click on all the scooters, the sidewalks, the bicycles, the buses.
Absolutely, And then once you do that, you can go to the next window.
So I'll just mess with my own club so you'll know whatever comes through. Don't just. Oh, do you want me to show them like let me do Thunderbirds?
No, I want you to back out of that, and I want you to type on there Yellow Rockers.
Okay.
And let's, because I want to show them something.
Yeah, because sometimes there's multiple clubs with the same name. Like which one are you?
Yes, yeah. So this is where the USDA number comes in.
From.
Uh-oh, you hit enter.
Eat that.
I do that sometimes too.
Sorry, Yellow Rockers.
So you see how many there are? And like it's showing 5 there. And they're not just Yellow Rockers, they're Yellow Rockers, Diamond. So Bells and Bows is another one. It's either Bells and Bows or Bows and Bells, and Bells is spelled multiple ways. Bows is spelled multiple ways. Yeah, see? Yeah, it back out the and show them what happens. See how many different ones there are there? So it's very important that you know what your USDA number is. All right, Carolyn, it's back to you to type in whatever name you want.
Okay. Does it matter? You want to just do my own or yours? Or
Yeah, just do your own. Yes.
If I click on it.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can see there the club name, the regional affiliation, and the state affiliation. You do not always have to have a regional affiliation because some of them do not have those. But if you are part of a state organization, you will have something there. If you are one of the clubs that is not part of an affiliate, you will have a blank for both of those.
And then I can edit, if there's a misspelling or a typo, I can fix it right here with the little pencil.
Right. And if you decide you don't want to look at this club, you can click on change club and type in another club name.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I thought I've been backing out the whole way.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's why I'm on the call, even though I'm not on council anymore. I don't think I might be, I'm not sure. Okay.
And then you just need to confirm the club's mailing address.
Piece of cake, you just click and type. I can, it's just basically filling out a website.
Right.
Just click and type, and like you would on a Word document. Okay, here's where some stuff.
Yeah, scroll all the way to the bottom. You'll see all those names. And then see that plus sign, that's where you can add. And the trash can, the trash can.
Club with iTax? Would it be better to show somebody with iTax?
Yes.
Okay, I can.
All right, what you want, you can.
I'm gonna
okay.
pick a club that's got like iTax.
Okay, yes.
You can show that. Oh, I do that all the time. Yeah. Please be kind to your state insurance directors. They're doing this all day long and to Elizabeth. I believe we're the 977. Yes. Okay, we have a whole bunch of ITACs with this. club.
Right, yeah, these are members that with the asterisk and that club name after that, those are members that have are members of two different clubs. And when you're doing the 2022, if some of these people need to come off, or if you see that the name is misspelled, that's what the trash can's for. And then when you scroll on down to the bottom, there's the plus sign. And when you click on the plus sign, you'll get another box. Carolyn, you want to click on the plus?
So I have a question. And I'm
Yes.
not an insurance director, but if I was looking at this, is the asterisk and the name that's after it, like, for example, Myrna, okay, it says Ocean Waivers. Is Ocean Waivers the club that is paying for her insurance, or is Dancing
Yes.
Shadows and Ocean Waivers is the other club?
Ocean Waivers is the club that's paid for her insurance.
Thank you. That's
I'm
good
on
to know.
I'm on Dancing Shadows roster, so Myrna is a Dancing Shadows member paid by Ocean Waivers. Sai is a Dancing Shadows member, but Whirlaway's paid. The
Understood. Thank you.
Davenports, Dancing Shadows member, but a whole different association. San Diego Square Dance Association paid.
Ah,
That's a whole different association. That's why I have the association, like here, Kay Sheffield, she's a Dancing Shadows member, but she's insured through B&Bs. You know, if I add myself, just as an example, I'm gonna trash can myself.
Yeah.
So I'm what's called an ITAC, insured through another club. So I'm joining Dancing Shadows. But my insurance, I belong to a whole different association, Cow County Slowdown Association. And it's paid through Cowtown Singles because that's my club. And that's where I paid my insurance.
all right.
And if
So
she
now
doesn't click on that plus sign, it doesn't save.
What's nice about it is when you're doing renewal and you're adding a bunch of people, I can just type all the names I want here without having to, I'm just making up stuff. I can type all I want, add a bunch of people, and then submit all at once. I don't have to submit every single person. Is anybody, I don't know how many people are on the call because I'm screen sharing. Oh, 20. Is anybody brand new to iTax and you want me to do that again? People insured through another club where they paid a different club's insurance. Okay. I need to delete somebody. I just picked the trash can. I just deleted Dina. Well, this isn't an active club anyway, so. I made some typos, so I just delete them. Okay. Next, are there any questions on the rosters? Okay, facilities, Elizabeth.
Okay, facilities. Here you will click on the plus to add any facility. Let's go ahead and there's one facility already there. We're going to add another facility, and we're going to be at the, yeah.
We're gonna be at my church. Just make it up.
Are you back? Are you back?
Just like filling in. Just like filling in a website. It's really super easy.
Yep. Click on submit.
It says it confirms that it was added. And there it is.
Mhm. And you can have multiple facilities there. I mean, just 1, 2, 10, just however many. The clogging associations will have 10, 12 facilities listed.
Here is a little bit, a limitation on this website. For example, I put Riverside, Connecticut accidentally. I can't just fix that Connecticut. I have to trash can it and start all over. So the website does have a few limitations. But. Additional insureds, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so if you're gonna have to add an additional insured on there, this is where you would click on the plus and you would add it. Now, if you need a CG 2026, I don't know why they have that box there for you to check because it does not generate it. You would have to send me an email and say, I need a CG 2026 for whatever. And then I will send that request to the insurance company so that they can produce the CG 2026 form. But, you know, it's just checked, but then I never see it. Even when the documents are printed, it doesn't indicate on the documents that were printed that someone needs to request that. So you would need to send me a special email requesting those CG 2026 forms.
Do you want to talk about the limitations on additional insureds where people want, like we've had people want a neighboring council listed as an additional insured. We'd have people want a person listed as additional insured.
So this is where you would go in when you say, when you click on that plus sign, then this add additional insured, then the facility, click up there for facility. This, it didn't. Oh, okay. So you, all right, I see.
But we've had people, it has to be a company, right? It has to be a commercial business. That's the additional insured. It can't be Betty of Betty's Dance Studio, right?
Right.
It has to be a business. It can't be Associated Square Dancers. It can't be our.
It can be the Archbishop or the Bishop or, you know, that's the Methodist, the Catholics, the YMCAs, whoever's director of the YMCAs or YWCOs, your senior centers, all these different places where people dance, they might require that. And I think in California, y'all have fairgrounds where y'all have facilities.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah, those. Yeah.
City, the county, the agricultural department, the state of.
Right. So this is where you look at everything there and you verify everything. And if you're happy with everything that's there, you click on confirm and all of these documents are created and everything that was in there before has been overwritten. If you're not happy with what you see that back, click on the back and it will take you back. And then you just kind of scroll back to where you need to make changes. Or if all you wanted to do is to review what was in there, now you want to review another club, then you'd back all the way back up to that page where it listed the name of the club. And you can click on that, change the name of club and type in a different club and go through all this process. But once you click on confirm, you have changed everything that was in there. It has been overwritten. It's like when you save a document, you change everything that's there and documents are created and I get an email. I know last year in the beginning when everybody was getting set up for the new year, I kept getting all these multiple requests, you know, documents for particular, you know, one club. And contacted the coordinator and found out what they were doing was really reviewing it and didn't realize that they had created all those documents all those different times. But if you want the documents to be saved, then please click on confirm. And if you're through doing everything with the portal, then you can go to the next window where it says finish. So now Carolyn has created new documents.
And nothing sticks. Nothing sticks until you click finish. You might have fixed a typo way back at the beginning and it doesn't stick until you click finish.
And that's a simple way of doing it. And it's really great that we can do that because it just saves all the organizations are saving postage by using the portal. Does anybody have questions for either Carolyn or me?
It is mostly my California people on the call right now. I'm so pleased. I'm so excited to see everybody. I'm so excited. Everybody's so and you don't need me anymore.
Well, just train them well, Carolyn.
Yeah, Bonnie and Nancy Sheldon, did you have a question, Nancy?
I was having trouble getting myself unmuted. Go ahead, Nancy.
Am I on?
Yes.
Maybe you guys covered this. No, there we go. Maybe you guys covered this earlier. I had a technical issue. When will the 2022 portal be ready?
It will be sometime next week,
Good. Okay, thank you.
not before I can get the emails out.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for these ladies?
I'll put the link again. Someone's asking how to get on the portal. I'll post the link again right here to everyone.
Lynn, was that your question? Okay.
I have a question for our two other San Diego ladies on the call. Do we know who point of contact is registered with Elizabeth at the moment for San Diego? Maybe that needs to go through Carolyn.
It should be Tammy or me, but it could be both of us.
So we're not going through a California coordinator?
Oh, yeah. Well,
Question.
we're kind of in somewhat limbo there.
Right, well, for San Diego, it will be myself.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right. Listen, once again, I want to thank you all for joining us today. I want to thank Elizabeth especially, but also Carolyn for your assistance and showing us the portal. I hope you all join us next month when Jim and Patty and Pat will be talking about the 501c3. That might be another viable aspect for your clubs to consider if you're not already a not-for-profit agency under 501c3. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your weekend and check out the USDA website, www.usda.org. There's lots and lots of great information out there. Happy dancing and have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Carol.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Let's see.